Hello there everybody, welcome back to another Train Sim World 5 video. You join us from Sursee on a route you may have never ever seen before, and we haven't done it in a very long time. This is the Zentralschweiz Luzern to Sursee route with the flirt, the 523. So let's hop in, which still I believe suffers from the same issues it's had for a very long time. I think the numbering's buggered still. But let's get the train set up. Right, set that to forward. Hang on. Oh yeah, key on. Key on. Set that to forward. Passenger lights on. You've got ETCS, which doesn't really work on here, but we'll put that on. That's already set to Luzern. That's good. I always want to say Luzern, but it's Luzern. And I think that's about it for setup. That's at 40, and I believe it is objective-based signalling, so we got to close the doors for the signal to change, which isn't nice, but it's an older TSW route. So we'll close the doors, and that, yeah, then now changes. Right, Sempak Njunkirch. Hang on, is that the one I'm thinking of? Is it? Yeah. There's the route map. So it sort of starts off quite fast and then a bit wiggly and coming into Luzern. Right, brakes off. And let's get going. We can probably try this HUDless. I think we got all the systems on it. I think it's just the ETCS on here. Yeah, just that. That's it. Right, we're off. Quite noisy from the outside. This is by Rivet Games, this route, and again you may have never seen this route before. I can't remember, do we need to acknowledge these things? I can't remember. Just going to acknowledge anyway. So that's now saying we can go up to 100. So we'll start popping the speed set up to 100. Yeah, that's at 100. Yeah, when was the last time we were on this route? We've done a couple of routes recently we haven't done in such a long time. We did Cane Creek, I know that was only a bit of yard work, but we did some of that. When was the last time we did this route? It was December 2022, so it's been about, well, basically 2.5 years since we've done this route. Because it's got a... It never really gets advertised, this route. It's a short route. It's just, yeah, it's just a funny little route. One of those ones tucked away in sort of the back catalogue. Yeah, I know the speed comes down for the points here, and it can catch you out if you speed in. Or is it 100 or... I don't know, but let's start speeding up now. Acceleration's pretty decent on this. And it's like 140 and then 160. Yeah, it's gone up to 160 now already. So let's get that up. Again, the ETCS sort of tells you the speeds. So we get that up, 160. Cool. And this train actually does layer onto another route. This train layers onto RABe. You can run it on there, I think, for like 15-minute runs. I think that's the only thing it layers onto. Yeah, RABe. Cool. Let's get another flyby shot. As we are going 100 miles an hour. Yeah, it's a pretty little route. Pretty short but sweet. I mean, well, actually, well, the longest service takes 35 minutes. But it is quite cool having the flirt. Because it's a flirt. Nice. I think there's another station we skip out. Yeah, this one here. Then I think the next one we stop at. Here we go. Yeah, scenery out here is quite nice. Well, I mean, nice for Train Sim World 2, which this route released for. Yes, this was 2022 this released. So yeah, Train Sim World 2 going into Train Sim World 3. But for a Train Sim World 2 route, yeah, it's alright. And somewhere along here it drops to 140, possibly more than that. So we'll sort of start letting the train slow itself down a bit. Sort of following the lake at the moment. There you go, let's start buzzing at 140. So pop the, actually that's it's a bit more than 140, but we'll just start slowing down. Nonetheless, let's not upset the train in any way. If it's 120. And the passenger interior is quite cool. We'll have a little run through at the next stop, Senpak. See what the train looks like on the inside. That's where, is that the speed warning board or where it starts? So I've not done a, is this Switzerland? Hang on, RABe I think this one is. I think it's Switzerland. This one's set in. Thing is, you can't go in the external camera unless you have a keyboard plugged in. Yeah, SBB, that's Switzerland. Right, this is Senpak Neunkirch coming up. So it's got like the big sort of silos. Right, 105. Well, we're doing 105. But I don't think that's where the speed starts. The speed starts at the diagonal board, which is coming up now. And here's also the station. So we're a double unit, so we'll sort of go down the end. Yeah, that's where the speed limit starts. It's now 105. Very easy train to drive though. I always forget it has the separate brake though, which you can use. But I'm just going to use the sort of the PBC. A bit further down, right down the end. I think you only just about fit in here. Like literally, you squeeze into the platform. Right to the end. There you go. Turn it back on a bit and do the doors. I think this is where we're stopping. Hope it is, yeah. And we're on time. Near enough. There's a little bit of room there. Yeah, it's a pretty cool train. You come through here. Yeah, it's, I mean, for when this come up, I mean, it still is a cool looking train. Yeah, by Rivet Games as well. As yeah, Rivet do like to advertise that they've made this. Not as much as on the Island line, where literally everything branded is just Rivet, 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 Rivet. Right, get the doors shut. And next stop is Rovenburg. Is that the next stop along? 5.3 kilometres. Oh yeah, no, yeah. Right, let's go. Rovenburg. Let's go. Let's put on the speed set. Cool. Yeah, funny little industrial buildings and stuff. Cool. There's also an IKEA on this route as well, which you'll see at some point. Although it's I think it's renamed to something else, but we'll see it somewhere along here. So yeah, Rovenburg. Then we got Emmenbrücke, and then after that, I think it's in Luzern. So it doesn't take long to do sort of one of these faster runs, and the slow ones here are about half hour. So again, short but sweet. very one of those routes where you may have never seen this route before. I suppose looking at the scenery now and stuff, it is looking a bit dated now. You can tell this is an older route in the game. A nice little photo. So we didn't have photo mode when we last did this. Lovely. A bit of rotation maybe. Actually no, do we have photo mode? When did photo mode come in? Is that TSW4? TSW5? TSW4. So now we have done photo mode on, because we've driven this train on Vorarlberg when that came out. I think that was probably the last time we drove this train. Is this the IKEA coming up? Is this it here? No, not here. Somewhere along here there's an IKEA, or wannabe IKEA. Industrial area here. So it's only 5 kilometres to Rovенberg. So I think it is the next. Oh, there's IKEA. There it is there. That's the IKEA. Which is called Ideal. Right, yeah, I think this is Rovenberg coming up now. Anyone actually ever been to that real life IKEA? Or Ideal? A little bit of a gradient coming down here. And here's the station. So this was up to 100 it's going to be. Yeah, 100 in. Well, 110. And it's a staggered platform here as well, which is sort of fairly unusual. And look at the gradient change as well. It just sort of stoops down as we come into the platform. Again, lots of sort of agricultural industry around here. Some sort of big silos and bits and pieces. Again, right down to the end here. Might need to use a little bit of the train brake, although it should be okay. We'll see. Rovenberg. Don't say that. Is that a newspaper stand there? What a weird place to have a newspaper stand. Right at the end of the platform where no one's going to get a newspaper. That's like the worst place. I think that is that's like the worst placed collectible I've ever seen. And it's got Rivet Games branding on it as well. Like, why is that here? That just doesn't make sense. Right, let's get the doors shut. And it's Emmenbrücke next. And it's 110. Right, let's do that. And off we go, 3 kilometres. I think we skip out one stop. Like Emmenbrücke something. Emmenbrücke Gossack? I think that's what it was called. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's here. Yeah, Emmenbrücke Gossack. Did you get like another branch line joining up before it? So we'll start seeing a few more trains. And I think the speed comes down even further as well. So I have to be ready for that. It's like 80 or 85 it comes down to. And then from Emmenbrücke, it's quite scenic as we then sort of start the approach into Luzern, and we're sort of following the river along. And you've got sort of all the houses and stuff on the hill to one side, and you go into the tunnel and then it's round into Luzern. It's quite a nice approach, which we'll see fairly soon. 90. Oh, hello. That's the safety system thing. I can't remember if that e-brakes us or not. Does it e-brake us? Oh, it has a thing. Yeah, it has, yeah. Well, the speed limit hasn't actually started yet, but yeah, you've got to keep an eye on the ETCS. It's sort of a funny little system. Sorry, customers, there is a red light ahead of us. And let's go. There's another little station here as well. I don't know what this one is. Yeah, not entirely sure if the ETCS works properly on here. Because as you saw there, it literally came down from 110 straight down to 80, even though we still had time to slow down. It does come down quite abruptly. There we go though. You get the other branch line which joins up, so sometimes you'll see another train waiting to well, come onto this line. And I believe that line's also modelled quite a distance as well. Where is it? There, down there. It's quite a steep gradient, but it joins up. And yeah, it's modelled quite a way away, that one. Almost as if they wanted to include it, but they didn't. This is the time before LiDAR data came in. So Vorarlberg was one of the first routes to make use of like the new mountain terrain data. Whereas yeah, this is an old route, so the mountains on here look pretty hideous now. Yeah, alright, we're slowing down. Yeah, there we go. Happy. Yeah, so the mountains on here don't look great, but yeah, this is before LiDAR data was a thing. Which is quite a cool little station. It's got the building which goes over the top. Yeah, alright, yeah, don't panic. It didn't do that blooming before, did it? Also, when we got e-brakes, it just came down straight away. What's that all about? And yeah, this is Emmenbrücke we're coming into, which possibly this is the one with a really tight platform as well. So you literally have to go right to the end. Oh my god, what's that all about? We're at 60. It says we need to come down to 0 apparently. What's going on? I think the system is a little bit broken. Yeah, it said we had to come down to 0 there. Well, we could be like flick to 0 then back to 80. There's no red light or anything, it's green. Yeah, not entirely sure that's working properly. Don't think it's meant to be doing that. But this is Emmenbrücke we're coming into, which has quite a tight platform. Squeeze right to the end here. Old route maps. Right, we're literally right there. Look at that, all the little LEDs there. Yeah, look at that. Only just about fit in. This is a lovely little station though. And we've got that collectible over there. As you can tell, I don't really do collectibles. I mean, on some routes I might go and get some of them, but for the most part, nah, don't bother. Get the door shut. And yeah, this is quite nice, this bit. Only 3 kilometres now, but it is a bit slower. And let's go. Cool. Crossing over the river here, and we follow it for a bit, and then go through a tunnel, and it generally, and there's even, I believe, a funicular railway as well, which we'll get a glimpse of. It's a nice approach into Luzern. Oh, Luzern. Cool. Let's get another little shot. So you got some sort of autobahn over there. What's everyone's thoughts on this route? Maybe it is your first time ever seeing this route, which is where it... Hang on, are we coming to a stop? No, we're right. Yeah, maybe your first time ever seeing this route. What do you think? Yeah, it's just one of those routes you... yeah, it's just sort of hidden away, not really one you'd probably know about. Unless you've been playing TSW for quite a long time. Again, like, say, Cane Creek, for example, which we did fairly recently, one of the you wouldn't know about that route if you hadn't been playing TSW for a long time. Lots of sort of old routes which are still alright, but sort of hidden away. So yeah, we'll see the funicular railway fairly soon, which goes up the side. Should see it quite soon. I think it's just here. No? No, there it is. Yeah, there's the funicular railway. Which goes up there. It's quite cool. It just ends randomly there underneath. Cool, and then into the tunnel, and then out. Once we're out of here, sort of just curl around and into Luzern station, which I believe is a rebuild of the station. I think there was the old station, but it had a fire and it basically got destroyed. There's sort of like an old bit of the old station still remaining at the front. You'll see once we get there. Yeah, not a bad little run though. Got a tree growing out of the tunnel there. Those things will never be fixed now. Always be like that. Yeah, 40. Cool, round we go. And I believe we've also got a narrow gauge railway as well, which joins up here as well. So you get like a crossover with the narrow gauge track and the standard gauge track. Which I should see relatively soon. It's a cool little terminus station. But if you have made it this far in the video and you've enjoyed it, feel free to leave a thumbs up, it all does help out. And if you want to see plenty more TSW, do feel free to stick around and subscribe. Yeah, is that the narrow gauge there? Yeah, over there. So I think in some places that crosses over with our track. Yeah, that here. That crosses over the main running line. Sort of the main standard gauge track. Quite cool. Yeah, here we are. Yeah, so this is like the modern-ish version of the station. But at the front you've got like an old bit of the old station. Which is, yeah, pretty cool. First time we've actually come in here in like 2 years, so... There's still one, the longest route I haven't done in the longest amount of time is Sandpatch Grade. I've not done that route since I believe November 2021. That was the last time we did Sandpatch Grade. Will we see it again at some point? I don't know, maybe. Not really a route I'd rush out to play. Here we are. Let's quickly go to, you can still can't go to an external cam when you press the analog stick. Yeah, that's the old bit of station there. That little bit out there, that's like the remains of the old one. But yeah, that is going to be it, everybody. Hopefully everyone's enjoyed it. That was Sursee over to Luzern on the Zentralschweiz Luzern to Sursee route, which is a short but sweet run with the flirt as well, which I believe, yeah, does layer onto RABe. Is there also another route it goes on to? Or just this one? But yeah, that's coming from me. Links, future places, Discord, PayPal, merch store, as well as our affiliate link for the lovely UK departure boards. See you all and take care. Bye guys.